What was the most sexist rule at your school? Our principal, Mrs Garrett, made girls submit photos of our outfits every morning through an app before we could enter the building. If she deemed anything distracting to male students, we'd get sent to the nurse's office to change into oversized gray sweatsuits that said, "Dress code violation," in red letters across the front and back. Shoulders showing, violation. Shorts above fingertip length, violation. Leggings without a skirt, violation. She'd patrol hallways with a ruler, measuring skirt lengths and tank top straps. 3 violations meant suspension and a note on your college applications. Meanwhile, boys wore muscle shirts with armholes cut down to their waists, and nobody said anything. My friend Maya got sent home for wearing the same polo shirt the boys' soccer team wore because it fit her differently. Another girl lost her National Honor Society position because her growth spurt made her uniform skirt inappropriately short, even though she couldn't afford a new one. We started carrying backup clothes, checking each other in bathrooms, warning about Mrs Garrett's location through group texts. I'd gone 2 years without a violation by wearing baggy hoodies even in 90-degree weather. I kept my diabetic supplies in my backpack and had perfected changing my insulin pump tubing through my clothes so I'd never have to lift my shirt. My mom worked as an EMT on 12-hour shifts, so if I got sent home, I'd be alone until midnight. Everything changed the week before SATs. My insulin pump malfunctioned during second period. The tube got kinked and wasn't delivering insulin. My blood sugar was already at 380 and climbing fast. At 400, I'd risk diabetic ketoacidosis. At 500, I could slip into a coma. I needed to change the infusion site immediately, which meant lifting my shirt to access my stomach where the pump connected. I rushed to the bathroom, but it was being cleaned. The nurse's office had a line of dress code violators waiting for their shame sweatsuits. The disabled bathroom was locked. My vision was starting to blur. A bad sign. Hands shaking, head pounding. I ducked into an empty science lab. I had my shirt lifted, frantically trying to disconnect the bad tubing and insert a new infusion set when Mrs Garrett walked in with a tour group of school board members. She saw my exposed stomach with the medical device attached, and her face lit up like she'd won the lottery. "This is exactly the behavior I've been talking about," she announced to the board members. "Girls thinking they can expose themselves whenever they want. It's medical," I tried to explain, fumbling to reconnect my pump. "Cover yourself immediately." She pulled out her phone, taking photos. "This is beyond inappropriate. You're traumatizing these visitors." My blood sugar monitor screamed an alarm. 425. My hands were shaking so badly I couldn't get the new infusion set connected. Sweat poured down my face. One of the board members, an older woman, stepped forward. "Is that an insulin pump?" "It's a manipulation tactic," Mrs Garrett said quickly. "They'll claim anything to avoid consequences." "Mrs Garrett, I'm going into DKA," I managed to say. "I need to change my pump site now, or you can explain your excuses in suspension." "Office, now." I stood up, swaying. The room tilted. My monitor shrieked again. 450. Without insulin, every minute meant more damage to my organs. But I walked to her office, sat in the chair, and watched her fill out paperwork while my body destroyed itself from the inside. She took 20 minutes typing up my violation, adding indecent exposure and defiance of authority to the form. My pump alarm went off 3 more times. I told her I needed medical attention. She said I should have thought about that before breaking dress code. When I stood to leave for the nurse, she blocked the door. "Sit down or I'll add assault to your record." By the time she released me, my blood sugar was 510. The nurse called 911. I spent 3 days in the ICU. The doctor said another 30 minutes and I might have slipped into a coma. While I was unconscious, Mrs Garrett emailed all parents with photos of me, exposing myself, claiming my medical emergency was fake. But one of those board members was Dr. Pamela Salos, Chief of Pediatric Endocrinology at Children's Hospital. She knew exactly what she'd witnessed. Mrs Garrett was fired immediately. But when we searched her office computer, we found a folder labeled Problem Girls. Inside were photos of 17 students in medical distress. And that's not even the worst part. Full story on my channel. Link below.